Now, if you'll excuse me, I have to dispose of this. I dare say the cat will enjoy it.
Perhaps it would be worth talking to Sanders again. There's got to be a link between him and our man. Or perhaps I can get him to Peach.
I'm sure that would be just the thing, sir, whatever it means.
Peach, squeal, split, talk, give someone away.
Oh, I see. I don't approve of slang, sir. Neither did my poor old mother, rest her soul. She beat me once for calling my great-uncle Patrick a paddywhacker. Told me I'd been spending far too much time with the servants.
My dear Mrs. Hudson.
Mr. Holmes?
What is the matter with me? How could I have missed such an obvious clue? I'm going out.
Take your umbrella, sir. It's going to rain.
Let it. Mrs. Hudson, I'm greatly in your debt.
Mr. Holmes, you amaze me.
Is this it? With all the excitement, I thought you'd unearthed something new.
I have. Hold this, would you?
You have? It's to do with our suspect.
Ah, yes, the very thing.
There's no need for this, you know. I've got more than enough grounds to break the door down.
And have Ikey's neighbours take us for common criminals. Besides, there's no need. Follow me.
Look at the state of this place.
Inspector, stand by the door and try not to touch anything. There's a good chap.
Sorry.
Now,
What exactly are you hoping to find?
an absence of evidence.
Pardon.
What do you do for entertainment, Yall?
Mr. Holmes?
Come on, it's a simple enough question. When you're not out keeping the streets safe for decent folk, what do you like to do? Read? Go to the theatre? Take long country hikes? What?
Mrs. Yall and I are partial to a spot of bicycling. Not that I see the relevance of it.
And I'll enlighten you. If this were your house...
God forbid.
If this were your house, I wouldn't have needed to ask the question. I can read a man's hobbies as easily as a daily paper. Friend Sanders enjoys a drink down at the local hostelry, the odd flutter on the horses, and the frequent attentions of a female taller than 5 feet but shorter than 5 feet 6, painfully thin, unnaturally blonde, and extremely partial to whelps.
Mr. Holmes...
All of which is of no importance whatsoever.
Well, then why the devil mention it?
It's what he doesn't enjoy that matters. Do you know, Yall? There's a chance that this case may end up in one of Watson's storybooks after all.
Well, I must say it's pleasant to be back here again, Mrs. Hudson.
It's a pleasure to see you here, Doctor. I'm so glad you enjoyed the holiday.
Oh, yes. Jean and I had a splendid time.
Good.
Mind you, it's quite a wrench getting back to work. My patients seem to have been waiting for me to show up so they can all be ill simultaneously.
Well, I'm pleased you took the time to call round. Oh, I do wish he wouldn't do that.
Do you know, if you asked me for one image that summed up my life here, a half-smoked cigar in the sugar bowl would be a pretty good one.
Yes, well, such things may be fine enough in the Strand magazine, Doctor, but I have to keep this place clean and tidy.
How long have you been worried about him, Mrs. Hudson?
Oh, almost a week now. To tell you the truth, I'm frightened for his health. His eyes...
Is he eating?
When will you be pleased to dine, Mr. Holmes? I said to him. 7:30, day after tomorrow, he says. I wouldn't mind if he meant it, but it doesn't.
I'll have a word with him. When will he be back?
Doctor...
Oh, yes, I'm sorry, a stupid question. I'll wait as long as I can.
Mrs. Watson won't be concerned.
Mrs. Watson has had my undivided attention for the past 2 weeks. I think I'm entitled to at least one day on my own.
Good, good. Keep that left up, boy. No, don't dance around like some fairy. Get in close. Close. No, bad luck. All right, that's enough.
How am I doing?
You've got to watch that left.
Yeah. Where'd the boss go?
You let me worry about that.
Did he see her?
Yeah, I reckon I got her out before he had a chance.
Nobody's supposed to be here. Not while he's watching me training.
You think I don't know that? She was just a poor old half-wit, wandered in out of the rain.
Yeah. And yesterday was the man fixing the drains. Boss didn't like that, did he?
No, he didn't like that.
Don't make him mad, Larry. His lordship don't like to get mad.
Vanderbilt and the Yeggman. Vipers, Vigor, the Hammersmith Wonder, Venomous Lizard or Healer, Victor Lynch the Forger. Talk about a system all his own. Hello, old man. Oh, I beg your pardon.
If you'll wait in here, my lord.
Who are you, sir?
Lord Cantlemere, Dr. John Watson.
How do you do, my lord?
What time do you expect Holmes?
I've really no idea.
If he's not here in 10 minutes, I shall be leaving.
Yes, sir. Excuse me, gentlemen.
Did Mr. Holmes arrange to meet you here, my lord?
I really don't see that it's any business of yours, Dr...
Watson.
Watson.
I have acted as Mr. Holmes' partner for many years. If you have a message for him, I'd be perfectly happy to convey it.
I was opposed to calling in Holmes from the beginning. I'm certainly not about to discuss my private affairs with a mere assistant.
Just as you'd like.
Oh, that was uncalled for. I ask your pardon, sir.
You have it, my lord, but the apology is not necessary. It's perfectly natural for you to be on edge. Only people with problems come to these rooms. Mr. Holmes probably won't be long. Why don't you take a seat? Good Lord. Good afternoon, madam.
Who the devil are you, woman? Am I to have no privacy at all?
I've got a spot of bother. Are you Sherlock Holmes?
No, madam. I'm his friend, Dr. Watson.
Oh, what about you?
Certainly not.
No, I didn't think so. I've heard Sherlock Holmes is a handsome man.
Oh, this is intolerable. When Holmes returns, tell him I called.
I shall, my lord.
And you may also tell him that when I engaged his services, I expected to be purchasing his undivided attention.
Holmes, for the love of heaven!
And a very good day to you too, Doctor.
That was Lord Cantlemere.
I'm well aware of who he is, Watson.
He's obviously worried to death about something, and you... It has to be the French jewellery. What's happened?
No questions for a minute. There's a good chap. That's better. These wigs can get infernally hot.
Oh, Holmes, for pity's sake. Has it been stolen?
Not all of it.
What?
His Majesty's government has been careless enough to misplace the Mazarin stone.
Oh, good God. You do know what that could do to relations with France.
Fortunately, I found the thief.
Never mind the thief. Have you found the diamond?
Can you come back tomorrow?
Come on, get put it in there, go on! Get in there, go on!
Yeah, right. Well, there's Holy Harry, what goes round done up like a priest, and, oh, my memory, oh, yes, that brings it right back to me. Oh, Mr. Sweet, the peg-leg tinker, Billy Escort, the plumber, got a tunk of milky ears off he has, and, oh, come on, Squire, no sense in only having half the story now, is there? I knew you was a wise man. And there's poor old Mary, what can hardly walk, and tonight it's my shift. Keeping an eye on you, we are, for, well, let's just say, for someone. Of course, I'm taking a risk telling you all this, but, well, if you want the name as well... Oh, that's very generous indeed.
He's asleep just at the present, Doctor, but he asked me to wake him as soon as you arrived.
I'm earlier than I said. You could give him a few more minutes. Good Lord, Mrs. Hudson. I haven't seen that in a few years.
Oh, not since the day he came back from the dead.
The old waxwork bust. Really does look amazingly like him. And he's put his dressing gown round his shoulders again. Mrs. Hudson, what's going on?
Keep away from the window, both of you. That's better. Watson, you come at a critical moment.
So I gather.
You'd better go now, Mrs. Hudson.
I'm going right enough. See if you can talk some sense into him, Doctor.
That woman is a problem.
Well, that's a fine way to talk, considering what she had to put up with from you.
That's not what I mean. How far am I justified in putting her in danger? I'm expecting something this evening.
Expecting what?
to be murdered.
You're joking.
My dear Watson, even my limited sense of humour could evolve a better joke than that.
He's in there right enough, boss. And he's had one caller, still inside. Gent, 40s. Big man. No problem.
We may as well be comfortable while we wait.
Look at you. Why the devil do you stop eating like this?
Because the faculties become refined when you starve them. Blood supply for digestion means less for the brain. I'm a brain, Watson. The rest of me is a mere appendix.
That is complete and utter rubbish. Keep this up and the only thing you'll be is dead.
Have you seen the new lights?
Did you hear what I said? What new lights? What are you talking about?
Progress, Doctor. Every modern comfort and convenience.
Edison lights? You've had electricity laid on.
Mrs. Hudson had some trifling objection to the gas, said it was old-fashioned and it smelled.
She's quite right.
That was why I liked it. Yes, but electricity or gas, it serves the same purpose. It'll throw a shadow of the bust onto the blind. My wax friend will take the shot meant for me.
Well, it worked before. I suppose it'll work again.
In case it doesn't. Oh, in case it doesn't, perhaps you'd be kind enough to make a note of the name and address of my murderer.
There are times when conversation with you becomes positively unreal. Do you know that?
Write it down, Watson.
Very well. Go on.
Oh, damn.
Come in, Mrs. Hudson.
I'm sorry to intrude.
Yes, what is it?
A visitor, sir.
Now?
His card.
Wait 1 minute and then show him up.
Very good, sir.
If I'm not in the room, show him in all the same. Then leave him alone and wait on the landing, if you'd be so kind. I'll need you again very shortly.
Yes, sir.
Holmes? Who's downstairs?
The man himself.
You mean the man who wants to kill you?
The very same. You must go.
I shall do nothing of the sort.
Watson, you'd be horribly in the way.
In his way? Oh, I should certainly hope so.
No, in my way.
I can't possibly leave.
Yes, you can, and you will. You've never yet failed to play the game, and you'll play it to the end.
I've no intention of allowing this to be the end.
Then do as I ask. Take a cab to Scotland Yard and come back with Inspector Youghal and a couple of men.
All right. But I can hardly go down while he's standing in the hall.
We'll wait in my bedroom. As soon as he's in, you can leave through the other door.
Very well. Holmes, are you armed? Good.
Listen.
This way, please, sir.
Come on.
Right.
In here, please. Mr. Holmes will be with you shortly.
Good evening.
You are Sherlock Holmes?
And you are Signor Negretto Silvius, known as the Count.
I am a count. The title is mine by right.
Of course it is. Have you made the acquaintance of my wax friend?
I could hardly fail to notice it.
It's a pretty thing, isn't it?
It's a matter of opinion.
Such a good likeness. I'm not convinced that the colouring was exactly right. What do you think?
I am come here to discuss waxworks.
No, I scarcely thought you had. Perhaps it'll be less distracting behind this. Yes, that's better. It's amazing what can be hidden behind a perfectly respectable screen. Don't you find? How's the boxing business?
Why have you put your creatures on my track?
My creatures?
The foul-mouthed plumber, the old tinker, the phony priest, that disgusting old hag.
You flatter me.
What?
Old Baron Dowson said, the night before he was hanged, that what the law had gained, the stage had lost.
They were all you? You yourself?
Every single one, friend. Every single one. Yes, no doubt, but a business. I want that diamond.
What diamond?
Now, please don't waste my time. We both know what I'm talking about. You're here to find out how much I know and how far my removal is essential. Let me help. I'd say that from your point of view, it was absolutely essential. Excuse me.
I'm not ready to leave yet, Holmes.
Mr. Holmes, Count?
If you wish.
Oh, most definitely. They heard a lot, my creatures. They listened and they learned, and I'm playing with a strong hand, Count, a very strong hand. Only one card is missing. I don't have the Ace of Diamonds, and I want that card.